We got a guy in Jaron Ennis right now who's killing everybody. Floyd is praising him, Boy Jones, everybody really.
Yeah, nah, he's nice as hell, but I'm at the point in my career, the money right, I'll fight anybody, so I ain't tripping.
Saying that we proclaimed Boots and we gave him all these accolades too soon. He hadn't had that fight yet.
You really have to ask yourself one question. Why is everybody suddenly acting like the next mega fight is already decided when Errol Spence just walked back into the conversation like he never left? Seriously, because just when fans thought the spotlight belonged entirely to Jaron Boots Ennis.
Champions, they holding up the, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence is holding up the weight division. We're trying to figure out what they gonna do, but I mean, at the end of the day, either they gotta fight me or they gotta move up or they gotta, do something because they holding up the division. That's it. I feel like this is definitely the year. I will be a world champion this year, and like I said before, once I get my hands on one of those belts, it's up. All I need is to touch one, and then once I touch one, I'm gonna collect the rest, and I'm gonna go ahead and move up and do the same thing at 54. Be undisputed there too. So that's my goal. Every weight, 47, 50, 54, 60, and maybe 68. Depending on how.
Spence casually reminded the boxing world that if the money is right, he's ready for anybody. And somehow that one statement sent the entire internet into detective mode. Now hold on, because this is where things get strange. Fans aren't just debating who wins anymore.
I'm always in the gym. Like I said before, like after I went on Saturday, I'm right back in the gym on Monday. Get right back to the grind. Perfect myself, perfect my craft. Young, hungry. I'm great at everything. I got speed, power, defense. I can do it all. Like I always say, I'm a variety pack. I can do everything. You just pick your favorite chip. And I give it to you that way. The older fighters and things like that, and studying myself, looking at things that I can get better at. It's a lot of things. I can keep going, but like that's how I know I'm always ahead of these guys because I'm never letting them get one up on me, and I'm always be.
They're debating whether this has secretly been the fight waiting to happen all along. And before anyone gets carried away, this is all based on public interviews, online reactions, and fan speculation. But when you start connecting the dots, the picture gets a whole lot more interesting.
We ain't see this, we ain't see that. But the truth is, man, the kid is talented and he work hard, and the combination of the two, you can see clearly, through his performance. And he's confident. He can punch, speed, what you want. I like it.
You feel like he's ready for Terrence Crawford's, the Errol Spence's?
I say Spence in one more fight. I say Crawford in 2 more fights. The reason being, Spence comes with less tricks than Crawford, but I believe is also equal as being dangerous. The thing is, Spence will give Boots a little bit more of what he's looking for, which is for a guy to be acting tough and standing there and try to fight with him. Spence can box, but I don't think he keep it up all night.
Boots Ennis keeps saying he wants every big name. Not one champion, every belt, every division he can conquer. Meanwhile, Spence isn't talking like someone planning a farewell tour. He's talking like someone who thinks everybody forgot who he is. And maybe, just maybe, that's exactly what makes this so dangerous.
I feel like Errol's is a monotone type guy. He's what he's good at is that constant pressure, constant punching, and it doesn't have to be flashy and quick and stuff like that. He knows when to throw the punch, and he keeps on going until you have to be until it's sink or swim type situation. So that's what he's good at.
Yeah, I know. You always want to prepare for the best version of Errol. But there is that sense of do you think there's that sense of unknown, being like, we don't know how he's going to look at a new weight, hasn't boxed for ages. Like, there's that sense of that sense of unknown because you still don't know what sort of version of Errol you're going to get.
No, not really. I'm preparing for the best. The biggest thing for me is to test his heart. How bad does he want it? When you've been there, done that in the sport, it's sort of like, do I need to do this? Do I need to keep on going? That's what I want to test when he starts talking to himself.
Do Do you think his heart, he can question him, you will make him question himself in that?
Well,
Because the moment fans started crowning Boots as the future of boxing, another conversation quietly started growing underneath it. What if the old king isn't finished? What if everyone rushed the story too early, and just when that debate starts settling down, boom, another twist appears. Breaking according to the internet anyway. Social media suddenly lights up with fans saying this matchup feels bigger than people realize.
Be a massive 154-pound fight a weekend just gone of Boots and Xander Zayas. Yeah, I know you're focused and locked in on camp, but did you get a chance to see the fight?
I didn't watch the fight, I'll be honest. I should have, but I didn't. But I watched the highlights, and exactly what I thought, But Xander did hit him, did wobble him to a certain extent, but Boots was too classy.
Do you think you view Boots as a future opponent of you one day?
Oh, for sure.
Spider senses went down a little bit once he felt like he was in control, and I know just from watching him, I know that's what happened because I've seen that happen to myself. When you get in control, your senses go down a little bit. Now it's not, oh my goodness, I got to be on point anymore. No, it's like, oh, I got it. That's over. And that's what he felt like. Then wham, he got caught. So I don't think his defense is that big of a problem. Matter of fact, the guy he fought from over there in Spain, I don't remember his last name, but that guy was a hell of a puncher too. Never could lay a glove on Boots. Couldn't put a glove on Boots, but he was known as a puncher. A knockout guy that most people had avoided. A lot of these guys in the welterweight division had turned that Steonis or whatever his name was. A lot of these guys over here turned that guy down. They didn't really want to fight him because he was too big of a risk, but not enough of a name. Boots took him to school. He could not lay a glove on Boots because he was at that. Boots had him senses heightened because that was another level for Boots. So I think when it comes time for Boots to do what he needs to do, he can pick the defense. It's just a matter of keeping the spot sensitive.
Not because of belts alone, because it could completely rewrite 2 careers in one night. Think about it. If Boots wins, people will say the torch has officially been passed. But if Spence wins, suddenly every hot take from the last year gets thrown straight into the recycling bin. That's why this isn't just another fight. Allegedly, according to countless fan discussions, it's becoming a referendum on an entire generation of boxing. And somehow, it gets even messier. Because Boots...
But I'm talking about the mental lapses. Boots said I went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm saying is whether you in the gym, you're gonna get hit, stuff is gonna happen. You're gonna get hit in fights, stuff is gonna happen. But you're not going to hit me because I fell asleep. That's the point that I'm making. You catch me in an exchange, you set me up, I don't see something coming, I thought you was out of range, but you was in range. That's part of
This isn't exactly lacking confidence. He talks like someone who believes every challenge is simply another chapter waiting to be completed. Spence, Crawford, bigger names? It doesn't seem to matter. His mindset never changes. He wants everything, every title, every conversation, every headline, every debate. But confidence has an interesting side effect. The louder the confidence becomes, the louder the expectations become too. Suddenly fans aren't asking if Boots can win. They're asking who can actually test him. That's where everything flips again. Because respected boxing voices are split right down the middle. Some believe Boots has too much speed, too many angles, too many weapons. Others quietly remind everyone that experience doesn't disappear overnight. Championships don't become meaningless because one fight didn't go your way. Pressure doesn't suddenly stop working because social media picked a new favorite. And now you're stuck wondering, who's actually right? Then another layer appears. Tim Tussiu enters the conversation, not throwing insults, not creating chaos, just calmly looking toward future opportunities while preparing for his own path. Yet somehow fans immediately connect every name together like they're solving some giant boxing mystery board. Boots, Spence, Crawford, Tussiu. Every interview becomes another clue. Every quote becomes another theory.
I was there, and when we were watching that, I was surrounded by a lot of Boots fans, and I looked at them, and they said, "That's Virgil hits him like that, he ain't getting up." And I guarantee you guys, everybody, he ain't getting up. So yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind. We also have to know that Boots hits hard too. He showed it. Zayas showed a lot of heart those rounds. He came to fight. I thought it was going to be a fight where Zayas tries to take him to the later rounds because of his size. He was just a bigger man. I thought Zayas was going to take the fight into the later rounds, but nah, Zayas came to fight. I also give respect to Zayas. I gotta give him credit. I think he also showed a lot of heart and put up a great fight. But Boots is the one that I expected him to fight more, trying to get into a decision. But nah, man, he showed his.
Started off though with Boots in full control. Scored a big knockdown early in the fight, and maybe he lost a little concentration, and he gave a moment to Zayas in that third round, as you said, to have his moment and put Boots. Legs were wobbling. He was.
Every sentence becomes another screenshot. Is that what the fighters intended? Maybe. Maybe not. But the internet doesn't wait for permission. Then came another wave of discussion. Roy Jones Jr. praises Boots' athletic gifts. Andre Ward reminds everyone not to underestimate championship experience. Robert Garcia sees danger from both sides. Teddy Atlas says talent still needs defining victories. Suddenly, nobody is having the same conversation anymore. One group sees unstoppable momentum. Another sees unfinished business. Another says timing changes everything. And timing might actually be the biggest character in this entire story, because boxing history is filled with fights that happened 1 year too late. Or 1 year too early. Fans know it. Analysts know it. Fighters definitely know it. So when people online start asking whether this is the perfect moment or the worst possible moment, you can almost feel the tension building before a single punch has been thrown. But wait, here's where the narrative quietly changes again. The conversation isn't only about who wins, it's about legacy. Boots keeps talking about becoming undisputed, then moving up, then doing it again. That's an ambitious roadmap, a very ambitious roadmap. But legends aren't created by announcing plans. They're created by surviving nights nobody thinks you'll see.
Boots is on his way. Let's match him up with the guys. Like I say, ain't no turning back now. It's Fundora, it's Virgil, it's you know what I'm saying, it's Charlo. You know, I don't know who other 54 pounds out there making no noise, but it's those guys. You know, that's where it's at right now for him. There's no turning back. He's 35-0. You know, so we can't fight Limas no more. You know, we it's up from here. You know, and like I say, if y'all believe in him that much, and like I say, he brought the crowd out too. Even though I've heard a lot of cheers for him as well. You know, so you know, however you gotta run it. You know, this guy. You know, him and Fundora obviously will be a Vegas fight. Him and Boots will be a Vegas fight. Him and Virgil will be a Vegas fight.
Survive. Which brings us right back to Errol Spence. Because whether you believe he's still at his peak or believe he's chasing one last unforgettable chapter, one thing is impossible to ignore. His name still changes the room. Mention Spence and everybody suddenly has an opinion. Mention Boots and everybody suddenly starts predicting the future. Put those names together. And now everybody becomes an expert overnight. Then another breaking update, at least according to online speculation, starts making the rounds. Fans are saying this matchup doesn't even need a championship belt to feel like a championship fight. Think about that for a second. That's not something that happens often. Usually, belts create the hype. Here, the names themselves are creating the event. That's rare, really rare. But here's the twist nobody seems ready to talk about. What if all this debate actually benefits both fighters equally? Every comparison, every prediction, every viral clip, every podcast argument, every comment section battle. It all keeps both names dominating the conversation without either man throwing a single punch. That's the kind of publicity promoters dream about. Again, that's simply one interpretation fans have discussed, not an established fact.
To the point where it wasn't easy, but it was like, all right, he right here, so it's not so hard to get to him. And I think that's why, you know, when he got caught in the third round, I think that's what happened. He put himself in front of him to be caught with a shot because he was thinking, all right, I might as well just jump on because I already dropped him, you know what I mean? And I'm just putting my hands on him. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't easy because Xander was firing back. And that it's kind of heavy. You know what I mean? Xander a big dude. And that's what I realized too. He a real big guy. And I actually seen him after the fight when he got back from the hospital. Because I stayed in the hotel like that was next door to his. And I was walking down the street, he hopped out the truck. So I got to see him. He was showing love to the people and all that. You know what I mean? It's just like I said in the beginning though. He just wasn't going to be able to keep up with the punch rate, the volume. You know what I mean?
But it's fascinating how quickly narratives can grow in today's boxing world. Then comes the final curveball. Everyone keeps framing this as youth versus experience, future versus past, speed versus pressure. But what if that's the wrong story entirely? What if the real story is confidence versus expectations? Because confidence is easy when everyone believes in you. Expectations are much heavier. Boots now carries enormous expectations every time he steps into the ring. Spence carries something completely different, the expectation to prove people wrong. Those are two very different kinds of pressure. One is trying to protect the future, the other is trying to rewrite the past. Suddenly the fight doesn't feel simple anymore, does it? It feels psychological. It feels personal. It feels like every interview, every reaction, every opinion has quietly been building toward one unavoidable collision. Maybe it happens next. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe another surprise changes everything before contracts are ever discussed. That's boxing. The script changes overnight. The heroes change overnight. The favorites change overnight. But here's the biggest twist of all. Perhaps the winner won't just earn another victory. Perhaps the winner controls the entire conversation around the division for years to come. And if that's true, were we ever really watching two fighters? Or have we been watching two completely different versions of boxing's future fighting for the spotlight all along? Let me know what you think, because after everything we've just connected, one question refuses to disappear. If Errol Spence and Jaron "Boots" Ennis finally share the ring, are we witnessing the passing of the torch? Or the beginning of one of boxing's greatest comeback stories?